Ladies and gentlemen, there will come a time in everyone's life when they encounter people who just don't show them the respect they deserve. It might be a boss, a co-worker, a friend, or even a family member. But here's the truth: how people treat you says everything about them, and how you respond says everything about you. When someone disrespects you, your immediate emotional response might be anger, frustration, or even sadness. It's natural, you're human, but the most important lesson to learn is that your reaction doesn't have to be ruled by your emotions. True strength begins with mastering your emotions, not letting them master you. The first powerful way to deal with disrespect is to stay calm and composed. People who try to belittle you or challenge your value often do it to provoke a reaction. They feed off the drama, the outburst, the emotional collapse. But when you maintain your calm, when you remain unmoved in the face of disrespect, you are sending a clear message: you don't control my emotional state. Calmness is not weakness. In fact, it is one of the rarest forms of power. It's easy to yell back. It's easy to let anger take the driver's seat. But it takes maturity, discipline, and self-respect to respond with poise. When you remain calm, you're not avoiding the issue. You're choosing to handle it with clarity and intelligence. Your calm demeanor keeps your mind clear and your decision-making sharp. You get to choose your words wisely, hold your posture with strength, and communicate with dignity. This makes you more effective, more respected, and most importantly, it keeps you aligned with your highest self. Standing tall is both a physical and emotional statement. It's about posture, presence, and pride. When you walk into a room, especially one where you may be undervalued or dismissed, your body language must declare that you are enough. You are worthy. You are not seeking approval. You are bringing value. Your energy speaks before your mouth ever opens, and calm confidence is magnetic. It doesn't need volume to be heard. It commands attention, not by force, but by self-assurance. Let people show who they are through their disrespect, but don't let it change who you are. You don't need to drop to their level to make a point. True power is holding yourself together when everything around you is trying to pull you apart. Calmness under pressure, especially in moments of disrespect, is your proof that you are in control of yourself and your life. Another fundamental principle in dealing with disrespect is understanding the importance of setting boundaries. People often continue to treat us poorly not because they don't know better, but because we haven't shown them where the line is. Boundaries are not walls. They're bridges to healthy interaction. They are not meant to punish others, but to protect your peace, your dignity, and your time. When you set a boundary, you're saying, "This is what I allow in my life, and this is what I will not tolerate." It's not rude, it's responsible. Setting boundaries teaches people how to interact with you. It's not about confrontation, but about communication. You don't have to raise your voice or be aggressive to assert yourself. You just have to be firm and consistent. You might say something like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way. If it continues, I will remove myself from the situation." This shows clarity, self-respect, and emotional maturity. Boundaries also reinforce your sense of self-worth. They remind you that you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. Every time you allow someone to cross a line without consequence, you teach yourself that your peace isn't worth protecting. But every time you set a boundary, you build your self-respect like a muscle. And just like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Respect is not something you beg for. It's something you enforce through the way you treat yourself. And when you set boundaries, you're sending a message to the world: I respect myself too much to tolerate being disrespected. This isn't about control over others. It's about control over your own experience. People may resist your boundaries at first, but that's often because they benefited from your lack of them. Stay strong. Be clear, you're not being difficult. You're being deliberate about protecting your value. When you combine calm composure with firm boundaries, you become untouchable in the best way. You radiate confidence. You teach people how to treat you, and most of all, you take back the power to define your worth on your own terms. When someone disrespects you, the natural instinct is to take it personally. The words, the tone, the attitude, it all feels directed straight at your heart. But one of the most powerful tools you can develop is the ability to detach emotionally and observe the situation objectively. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start thinking. Emotional detachment is not about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about choosing clarity over chaos. It's about stepping back from the heat of the moment and asking yourself, what's really going on here? Because in many cases, the disrespect you're receiving has very little to do with you, and everything to do with the other person's internal struggles, insecurities, and unresolved issues. People project. Hurt people hurt people. Insecure people try to belittle others to feel taller. When you understand this, you begin to see the difference between what is truly about you and what is simply being thrown at you. Emotional detachment is the gateway to strategy. When you're no longer tangled in the emotional web of someone's bad behavior, you can think clearly about how to respond. You begin to move with intention instead of impulse. You stop reacting to disrespect and start responding with wisdom. This is where your power lies. Learning to step back emotionally also protects your energy. Not everything deserves a response. Not every battle is yours to fight. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to observe in silence and let people expose their own character. When you engage every disrespectful comment, you drain your power by giving it to someone who doesn't deserve it. But when you stay centered, grounded, and emotionally detached, you remain in full control of yourself, and that is the greatest leverage you can have. This mindset also helps you stay focused on your goals and values. You can't let temporary emotions interfere with your long-term growth. When someone tries to pull you into negativity, ask yourself, is this worth my time? Does this move me forward? If the answer is no, you already have your answer. Keep your eyes on your purpose. Don't let the disrespect of others distract you from the greatness you're building within yourself. Another life-changing mindset shift is to stop chasing validation and start owning your worth. From a young age, many people are conditioned to seek approval, to be liked, accepted, validated. But this becomes dangerous when your sense of self is based on someone else's opinion. Respect that has to be begged for is not real respect. When you know your worth, you no longer need external confirmation to feel valuable. You move differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself with quiet confidence because your value is not up for negotiation. Chasing validation often leads to people pleasing, over-explaining, and tolerating disrespect just to keep the peace. But true peace comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you will no longer allow. When you stop trying to prove yourself to people who don't appreciate you, you free up energy to invest in people who do. And more importantly, you free up space to invest in yourself. Owning your worth means speaking up when necessary, walking away when it's right, and choosing yourself without guilt. It means reminding yourself daily that you are not defined by someone's inability to see your value. Their perception of you is not your reality. Their disrespect is not your truth. You don't have to get loud to be powerful. You don't have to fight to be worthy. The more you live in alignment with your own worth, the less noise you need to respond to. You don't need to convince anyone of your greatness. You just need to embody it. And the more you stand in your worth, the more the world will either rise to meet you or fall away. Either outcome is a win, because when you stop chasing validation, you start attracting what's meant for you. That's not arrogance, that's clarity, that's self-respect, that's power. There comes a point in life when silence becomes your most powerful response. Not every insult needs a rebuttal, not every act of disrespect deserves your explanation, and not every person is worth your energy. Walking away is not quitting, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing when your peace is more valuable than winning an argument. There is strength in knowing that you don't have to attend every confrontation you're invited to. When someone continues to cross lines, ignore your boundaries, or diminish your worth, walking away is not an act of defeat. It's a declaration of self-respect. People often confuse endurance with strength. They think being strong means staying in the fire, proving a point, standing their ground no matter what. But real strength is knowing when to let go. Real strength is saying, this no longer serves me and I'm done. Walking away doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care too much about your mental health, your time, your purpose to stay in environments that damage them. You don't have to fight every battle. Sometimes you win by choosing not to fight at all. Silence sends a message that words cannot. When you stop engaging with disrespect, you force people to sit with their own behavior. You shift the focus back to them. You stop playing their game. Your silence becomes your shield. It protects your energy, your dignity, and your forward momentum. Some people thrive on drama. They want to pull you into chaos, but you were not built for chaos. You were built for clarity, growth, and impact. Walking away lets you redirect your energy toward what really matters. Your goals, your relationships that uplift you, your dreams that deserve your full attention. Every time you walk away from someone who cannot meet you with respect, you walk closer to the life you actually deserve. You show the universe that you will no longer settle. You teach others that your presence is a privilege, not a right. The more you protect your space, the more peace you'll find in it. It's not about being cold-hearted. It's about being clear-headed. You don't owe anyone your presence if they continually treat you like your absence wouldn't matter. When you begin to live with this level of self-respect, something powerful happens. You stop demanding respect from others because you start commanding it from within. Respect isn't something you chase. It's something you embody. You don't need to scream, shout, or prove your value to anyone. You just need to show up as the most authentic version of yourself and refuse to shrink for anyone. That is how real respect is earned. When you carry yourself with integrity, when you lead with kindness but not passivity, when you live with standards, you set a tone for how others will treat you. People watch how you carry yourself. They notice if you let things slide or if you hold the line. They test your limits, not always with bad intent, but to see what you allow. Your consistent self-respect becomes your loudest voice. You don't have to demand loyalty, appreciation, or recognition. They'll follow naturally when you live by principle and protect your energy. Real respect isn't about being liked by everyone. It's about being true to yourself, even when others don't understand you. It's about walking in your values, speaking with purpose, and acting with courage. The people who truly see you will respect you, not because you fought for it, but because your life made it impossible not to. And those who don't respect you, let them go, because the longer you chase the wrong kind of attention, the longer you delay the right kind of impact. You are not here to be accepted by everyone. You are here to be respected by the right people. And that begins the moment you start respecting yourself in a way that makes it impossible to be treated any other way. Let your actions speak. Let your energy protect. Let your presence inspire. Because when you know your worth, you stop negotiating with anyone who doesn't. You are not here to be everyone's cup of tea. You're here to be your highest self. Stay kind, but don't stay silent. Stay humble, but don't be walked over. You don't need to scream to be powerful. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply not stoop to their level. Hold your head high. You don't need to fight for respect. You just need to live in a way that demands it. Thank you.